first ball of day 4.
Starts with a bit of a full toss outside off stump, which is stroked through the offside by Save. And he scored 159 in the first innings with that second new ball at the end of the day, as Zabe times that one really nicely through the offside. And that is going to be 4 down to the cover point boundary. First class 50 this summer. Times that through mid-wicket, and there is a misfield, which will enable Sales to come through and complete that third first class 50.
Personal point of view as Price bowls here to Zabe. Zabe advances down the track and whacks it over the top. Goodness gracious me, that is a fine strike from Zabe all the way for 6 runs. And Northampton going along at a decent rate here as Bailey bowls to Zabe.
Yeah, that's going to run away for 4. Just catches up with that one outside off stump, and it runs up towards the Spencer Lounge.
At the halfway point, need a win here today.
Yeah, it certainly felt more important, hasn't it, as Zabe takes a quick single through to James Bracey and brings up his 50 in the second innings. That's driven down the ground. I think that's going to beat the fielder at mid-on. It is. So Sales now getting into, there's no doubt about that, particularly with cricket shots like that, as that goes past the bowler, Price, past the diving fielder at mid-off, and Sales goes back-to-back bound.
Runs are there to be had.
Yeah, Bailey continues, and that's muscled away by Save down towards deep mid-wicket. It's hanging in the air for an age, and he is caught down at deep mid-wicket for 56. Save.
And try and put 360 on and basically kill the game as Bailey bowling here to Save, and that one is whacked through the covers. That is an imperious 4 off the bat of James Sales.
Gone. Sales tries to be creative and inventive, and Bailey goes straight through him, hits middle stump, dislodges the bails, and James Sales is dismissed, bowled by Archie Bailey.
Keep the interactions coming throughout the day as Van Buren bowls here to McManus. That's a firm sweep, and that would have been a really good stop. Unfortunately, Fred Middleton, though, to both sides, they are absolutely desperate for the victory in this one. That one darted in, goes aerial to McManus. It's going all the way for 6 runs, straight into the ground staff sheds. He comes charging in with real intent here to Bartlett. Bartlett absolutely clubs him down towards deep mid-wicket. That is dismissive with a capital D from George Bartlett. Goodness me. For the South African, it's Van Buren here to Bartlett. Bartlett muscles into that one. I think that will race away. It will do. Yep, can't be stopped out there by Ben Charlesworth. Definitely more movement and more bodies up there compared to the previous over, as McManus this time goes straight back over the bowler's head all the way for 6 runs. That is an outstanding strike.
1 ball left in this over. And that's it, isn't it? That's it. Cameron Bancroft on strike, and he's on the money straight away. Gloucestershire, I think, just have to bat. That's pulled away through mid-wicket. It was in the air, but it was wide of James Sales, who's going to give chase, but the ball is certainly going to win.
Definitely someone to watch out for.
Yeah, that's cut away. That's going to race down towards the boundary rope. I don't think that's going to be hauled in. The outfield has sped up, and it is going to beat. Certainly does, doesn't it? Oh, it's a brilliant shot by Cameron Bancroft. Beats a diving James Sales, and that is going to be another 4. Whatever time that was going to be, but you said that isn't going to be the case. That's whipped over square leg for 4 by Charlesworth. Just catches up on that from Guthrie, as Guthrie completes this one, and there is an edge, and it's gone straight through. Guthrie's got the breakthrough. Said he's been expensive, but he's broken that opening partnership, that opening stand. Northamptonshire have their first, and Charlesworth has to go for 14.
Here is Conway once more to Price. And that's an edge. Is it taken? Yes, it is. It's Calvin Harrison, although there was a conversation with the umpires. Now it's been given out. That is an outstanding take in the slips from Calvin Harrison. Conway, it is here to Hammond. That is one of the shots of the day. Stand and deliver stuff from Miles Hammond. How can Conway respond? Well, that's another 4. Back-to-back boundaries off the willow.
And he finishes the session with, well, not his finest piece of work, Calvin Harrison. A bit of a drag down, which is defended too short-legged by Miles Hammond. Captain fires that one down the leg side, and Bancroft does have a little poke at it. Obviously a minimum requirement, isn't it? Not a maximum, as that's a rank full toss by Harrison to start his spell as it's deposited.
But angle it back into the stumps. As again, Hammond uses his feet and uses them superbly. Goes all the way for 6 runs. That is a lusty blow from Miles Hammond, who dispatches Calvin Harrison in his first over after lunch. Yeah, it's good bowling so far from Luke Proctor.
And there's another one of those big booming drives from Miles Hammond, the short side of the grounds.
Into a more juicy over-pitched one.
Yep, again, driven through the offside. Short side once more. Back-to-back boundaries for Hammond.
And here he is bowling to Cameron Bancroft. One of the first real shots of anger we've seen from the Gloucestershire captain, because that would have put a little bit of a grey cloud over what's been a great game of cricket, and that is some shots from Miles Hammond. Goes on the reverse and switches it down towards what was previously deep third. We'll just plug in the surface ever so slightly, but look at the running yet again. They've run 4 runs there, so even though it didn't go against the boundary rope, they've still got the presence of mind to turn that 3 into a 4 runs. And again, goes for the sweep shots. It's aerial. And that is the moment for Miles Hammond. You can hear the cries of well batted Hammo as Miles Hammond reaches a half century for the 2nd time in this encounter.
Just the one slip in place as Bancroft takes that through to Luke Proctor on the back foot. Fortunately, it's only going to cost 1, but it does bring up the 50 for the Gloucestershire skipper, Cameron Bancroft. It's really flighted, and Cameron Bancroft accepts the invitation and hits Calvin Harris. Whether you go spin from both ends would be another look, but you do have that short leg side boundary, which is going to be tough. That is quick. There's caught behind. What a take that is by Lewis McManus. There's the breakthrough. The pace has worked. Guthrie comes into the attack, and his 2nd over in the spell picks up the big wicket.
As Liam Guthrie bowls here to Cam Green, slightly aerial. It goes underneath the fielder, and that will be 4 more runs off the bats of Cam Green. Guthrie to Hammond. It's edged. Just out of reach there of safe save. He couldn't get anywhere near it. Has it been shoveled back in? No, it hasn't. It's 4 more championship. It's Guthrie. That one's short, and that is flayed away. Backward of points, 4 more runs there, back-to-back boundary. Fantastic time, hasn't he, as Guthrie in here to Hammonds, and that one again is just thumped down towards the deep third boundary. Smacks into the...
That is a fantastic shot. That's going to be another 4. That perfectly dissects Zabe and Bartlett down here.
Well, this could be given, and it will be. George Bartlett, the golden arm strikes, and Miles Hammond has to go for 80. How crucial of a moment could this one be? Bartlett brought into the attack for a 2nd over by his captain, Luke Proctor.
6 wickets as Luke Proctor comes in, and they're going to take on Calvin Harrison for a quick single. Cam Green makes his ground for that 1st innings failure. And that is driven through the offside. It was uppish, but it's going to run away for 4 down to the ground staff.
Who absolutely adores this club.
Short ball pulled away. That's middled that by James Bracey. That's back-to-back boundaries. Danger area a bit quicker. Oh, it's gone. Calvin Harrison has got the breakthrough. The right-hander. Sweep shot, which goes through Adi Sharma and splits the fielders on the boundary and goes all the way for 4. Worcester will be hoping it keeps raining. Warwickshire will be hoping they can get back on.
Well, that's edged and taken. What a catch that is from Calvin Harrison, diving to his left.